What's up, guys? Welcome to Movie Emporium. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button at the top, find out what's coming next. Also, comment below on any of these videos. So, we usually do movies on the movie reviews, trailer reacts, all that good stuff. I want to get into more TV limited series because they're still kind of considered movies in a way, even though they're long form. You have stuff like Band of Brothers, The Pacific, and I really like those movies. I really like those limited series because they expanded upon the idea of what a movie can do in essence of, because they're HBO. And George Clooney, Grant Heslov, who have worked together since, I believe, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, even before that. They are two people that have created some great content. They work well together. They got together with this guy named Luke Davies, and they adapted Joseph Heller's book Catch 22, which was a movie also in the 70s with Alan Arkin. So the idea of what Catch 22 is, it's about a soldier who is a bomber in World War II in Italy, and he's really desperate to get out of this war. He doesn't want to be a bomber anymore. He just wants to go home, and all his friends, they are being killed off and they're dying, and it breaks him to a point where he just doesn't want to deal with it anymore. And he's going to do whatever it takes to get out of this situation that he's in because, he's been there forever. The original goal was to do like 25 bombing runs, and it keeps getting pushed up and pushed up and pushed up to the point he gets to a breaking point. And now, I haven't read the book, so I can't tell you if this is different than the movie, the limited series that just came out on Hulu. But the question I had going into this was, is it going to be engaging, kind of like The Pacific and Band of Brothers? Is it going to be schlocky? Is it going to, because I heard it has some really funny moments, and even in the book, it's very darky humored. And will it keep me invested for 6 episodes? Because, a lot of times these limited series based off books, they're not really investing. There's not much going to it. And I will definitely say that this is an interesting story. Whether it needs to be 6 episodes, I don't think it did. It probably could have cut 1 episode because there's a lot of downtime in this thing where they travel to Italy and they're doing, sleeping with prostitutes and visiting this guy who runs a hostel. And there's incidents, with the characters having, problems understanding all the Italians, and maybe it's to do it to give it some depth of like the Italian people aren't necessarily all bad, because in World War II, one of the axes of power was Italy, and so therefore, we had our scenario there. But this series to me is an interesting one. Yes, it's very funny, but it's very dark. There is some very disturbing content going on in this movie or this limited series, whatever you want to call it. And the main character, who's played by Christopher Abbott, who plays under the sign Yo-Yo, and that's kind of short for his name, he is the guy that's enveloping this character of the one who wants to get out of war. Well, he has done some things that have caused him to have a rift with the character that George Clooney's playing, and George Clooney's very good in this series. He's fun. He also directed a couple episodes, and Grant Heslov directed the rest of them. And it's fun to see, but he just disappeared. But who comes in? But a character played by Kyle Chandler, who plays Cathcart. He's a over-the-top, overzealous, kind of goofy commander. And he's the one that keeps upping the bombing runs, causing Christopher Abbott's Yo-Yo to just kind of just lose his insanity. And that's what the story's kind of doing. Yo-Yo's trying to do everything he can to get out, whether it's go to med bay and tell him he's fakely sick, or, to disappear off the face of the earth. And as his friends start dying, it really starts to affect him. Like I said, there's some stuff in this movie, in this limited series, that just is insanely dark and disturbing, and it's war, and it's something that will shock you. Episode 3 is probably the most shocking episode at the very end. The episodes mostly take place on the base of the Italy U.S. base that it takes place on, And when they go to Italy or when they do their bomb runs, there's some cool effects there. But there's a segment at the very end of episode 3, and even up to an extent episode 4, where you're just like, holy crap, I can't believe I just watched that. And you can understand why Christopher Abbott just wants to go home, or Yo-Yo wants to go home, because he's tormented by this situation. And I mean, most people who in World War II, once they got there, they don't want to be there because of how disturbing and depressing and violent and just insane it really was. And it just, that's the kind of story you're getting here. You know, you're seeing him interact with his friends. You're seeing him interact with people like Kevin J. O'Connor. Hugh Laurie is in this for a short time, and he's just being pushed from both sides, just not, nobody's cooperating with him and everything he does. And it's about civic duty. It's about somebody who is kind of afraid to commit to what he is signed up for. And he tries to invoke the thing of him, being insane, but they invoke catch 22, which is, if you claim you're insane, you're not really insane. So it's like a double standard. You claim something, but it's the exact opposite. So they're using that against him, and it's really interesting to see. And Christopher Abbott, once again, like I said, who's playing Yo-Yo, he is amazing in this series. He's great. He should get an Emmy nomination for limited series actor, because it's just fantastic to watch. And yeah, like everybody else is just, they're on point and just really good and just intense. And the people who are in Italy, they're just fun because there's some kids who are used as kind of like to help out the cause of the Americans. And a lot of times in wars, I've heard stories where kids from that country will kind of align themselves with Americans or from the other countries to kind of gain popularity, gain the worth, and so on and so forth. But this limited series is also shot really well. It's pretty to look at. It's beautiful. It's beautifully heartbreaking when someone does die that you really started getting an affectionate notice for. There's some just crazy moments that just make you laugh, even though it's kind of disturbing. And the last episode is very disturbing in some ways, but just how Yo-Yo's character kind of comes to a fold is pretty amazing and quite funny. And you can really get the depth of what George Clooney does with his camera work and his directing. He's a guy that's willing to like do things that aren't the norm, and he's willing to go there with certain characters and so on and so forth. But like I said, it's not a perfect series. It could use maybe one less episode because it could be tightened. But the fact that Hulu gave him, George Clooney, Grant Heslov, Luke Davies a lot of money, because this looks like it costs a lot of money. It's impressive with what they did. It just, there could have been some real tightening in the storytelling and some maybe a little bit less of the Italy moments, which kind of really kind of drew back some of the storytelling. Because when you're with the pilots, when you're with the bombers, and you are up in the air, you really get that sense of just how crazy the war was for the bombers. And a movie that this could kind of fit with is Memphis Belle, because it's about the same type of people who are in war. They're about ready to finish their tour, their missions, and the things that happen around the scenario, the situation, the cause, the problems. It really shows, and it really shows what war can do to somebody. And so therefore I can definitely recommend to watch it. Like I said, there are some very graphic moments. There's a lot of nudity, which is not really that uncommon with the movies and TV series on stuff like Hulu and Netflix and so on and so forth. And like I said, everybody is on their A game. Everybody's doing great work in this movie, or this limited series. I keep calling it movie, but it is a limited series. So definitely go see it or watch it on Hulu. Pay the money to get Hulu, because it's definitely worth it. And you're going to get some interesting content out of the series in general. And it's some of the better work that I've seen George Clooney do in a while. I think the last thing I ever liked him in, or I liked seeing him in, is Michael Clayton or something like that. It's been a while since he directed or acted in something really great. And he, like you said, he has fun comedic talent and timing in this series, and it kind of gives it some flavor. So, but there you go. That's my kind of shortened, hopefully not, it's still a little spoilers take on Catch 22, the limited series. Comment below if you've watched the series. I know a lot of people probably haven't, because it's 6 episodes, so you have to invest some time in it. Tell me what you think if you did watch it, or if you watched an episode, kind of give me some gist of what you think of it. But otherwise, like I said, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button at the top, comment below, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.